Ladies and gentlemen, the group of 20 is on the international plane an essay in persuasion. In that context, I believe we had a very successful G20 meetings, leaders' declaration and the St. Petersburg action plan are in line with the position we had advocated in the meeting. You have seen the documents, so I won't attempt to summarize their contents, but I would be happy to answer questions. We also had a very useful BRICS meeting. The leaders confirmed that agreement has been reached on the $100 billion currency arrangement. There is also progress on the BRICS Bank, which will lead to a concrete proposal by the next BRICS meeting. On the sidelines of the summit, I had a brief discussion with the Prime Minister of Japan and the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister of Japan, and we have agreed to raise the limit of the swap arrangement between our two countries from $15 billion to $50 billion. This is something by way of the second line of defense for our currency.
Sir, what are the important intakes of G20 for India?
Well, as I said, G20 is at the international level an essay in persuasion about good practices. The leaders' declaration and the action program reflect our concerns that the world economy is not in good shape, that all countries who have influence in global affairs must work together to revive the growth process. In particular, we have been arguing at Los Cabos that infrastructure development is a commodity which can contribute to revival of growth as well as acceleration of the development process, and that is reflected in the action program. Also, the statements that were made by the President of the World Bank that they are working on a world infrastructure financing facilities. If that comes about, it will certainly help us greatly.
So, Priyanka from DD News, what kind of a role do you see BRICS playing in the global economy and India's contribution to it as well?
Well, BRICS is an important factor in the world economy because China, Russia, South Africa, Brazil and India together command a significant proportion of the GDP and trade of the world, and therefore whatever happens inside or to the development process in these countries has influence all over the world. I mentioned that as concrete acts, the BRICS countries have agreed to $100 billion of currency reserve arrangement. There is also agreement to start a BRICS bank with $50 billion, and the concrete proposal is now being finalized and will be brought before the next summit of the BRICS.
Sir, the Japanese swap enhancement to 50 billion and the 100 billion BRICS currency, the contingency reserve fund, together, do you think these two will have a calming effect on the markets, on the currency, Indian currency, and now what should be done domestically also to take care of the current account deficit?
Well, on the margin, certainly what we have agreed with Japan will help. But ultimately, we have to get the fundamentals of our economy in robust health. Last week, Parliament has passed some important legislation, economic legislation, that will also help to revive confidence, and we have to work to ensure that the fiscal deficit does not exceed 4.8%, and whatever we can to contain the current account deficit will be put in practice.